Beth Brown.
Hello, world. So today I'm chatting with our November featured small business owner of the month for the Big Black Book NYC, Mazi Oyo. And say hi to everyone.
Hello, everyone.
So, Mazi, tell the world a little bit about yourself and what it is that you do.
OMG, talking about myself. That is a difficult one. I'm Mazi, and Mazi Oyo, but most people know me as either Mazi or Mazi O, and I'm most known for my video production work. Music videos, photography. I've done stuff for mostly the entertainment industry, music videos and stuff like that, show performance. Work with all types of artists in the industry, from Cardi B to Akon, Ceelo Green, French Montana, scores and scores and scores of people, especially New York-based artists, because that's where I'm from, New York. But I've then branched out into other things like social media, digital advertising, app development, clothing design, just so many different things. I had a magazine for a couple of years. I did a local television show in Brooklyn. So did a lot of work with, a lot of people.
Yes, I definitely feel that you are the definition of a serial entrepreneur, for sure. Yes, it's been exciting too, because we've known each other for quite a few years, and every time you come out with a new project, it's always really cool. But I'm curious, because you have so many different projects and you've worked with so many people, how are you able to get inspiration, like fresh inspiration?
I do a lot of reading. Well, I do a lot of perusing the internet, checking out articles. I'm like a news junkie, so I subscribe to press releases that get sent to my email. I check them on a regular basis. So a lot of times you'll see different things coming out, or I'll see different things coming out, different inventions, different software, different hardware, just a lot of different things, TV shows, and it'll just spark interest in me. So I have one of those brains that's just constantly looking for new challenges and just pushing what I am capable of doing to the limit. So I get inspiration from all over the place, walking down the street or doing a job. For instance, I have an invention that I want to make. I was in the studio one day doing a session where I was recording some audio for somebody, and I was just like, wouldn't it be nice if I didn't have to keep loosening the microphone, pulling it up, pulling it down for the different people that walked into the booth. And I was just like, wait, why isn't there a microphone that's like pneumatic or has some hydraulics or something that you just step on it and it goes up, and you step on another button, it goes down. So I just get inspired from all types of stuff,
Oh, wow. Cool. All the sound people are going to be looking for that one when that comes out.
Yeah, I need to focus. The problem about having so many ideas is that some things get pushed to the back burner, but I definitely want to work on that adjustable or automatic microphone adjusting thing. So if anybody comes out with that after this, then y'all know where they got it from.
Yeah, I think you better start moving on it ASAP. You just told the whole world about it.
Right.
Cat and that, like yesterday. But yeah, I like what you said about reading, because that's really key, I think, to a lot of entrepreneurs' success. Like a lot of millionaires, Warren Buffett, I think, spends a lot of time reading. It's really important. I mean, how else as entrepreneurs can we know how to fill the gap, right? For what's missing.
That's true. You have to be in tune, and you have to go out there and experience life.
Yeah.
I think the more experiences that we have, the more that we're able to pull from different things. So.
Sorry about that.
Okay.
My mom's calling. Anyway, so I'll chat with her later. So what do you do? Because you have a lot of projects going on, and how do you maintain like a healthy work-life balance, or, you know, get some fun things in, spending time with family, friends, you know, building your relationships? How do you balance all that with all the work?
I'm not good at that. I don't. If I'm being honest, I don't have a balance like that, because I genuinely enjoy the things that I do. There aren't many things that I put my time and effort into that I don't enjoy. So it's not like, say for instance, you know, if I were working a 9 to 5 job doing a Foot Locker or something like that, right? And let's say that I really had no aspirations to be in the footwear business, but I was just doing it because I need to pay my bills. It would be more of a situation like that I would need to find some type of balance, because I'm going into this job that I don't even like. I'm smiling at people, and then when the day is over, I'm exhausted. So I need to find something to balance that off. But with me being an entrepreneur, I pick and choose the things that I want to get into. And a lot of time, if not all the time, it is closely related to something that I have an actual interest in. So I tend to really enjoy the things that I do. So photography, videography, those things, even when I'm not physically or actually on set doing them, I'm still thinking about them. I can be laying down, uh, watching television, watching a TV show, and I'm just looking at like, wow, look at how they move that camera, or like, wow, look at the lighting on that. Like my brain is constantly on those things that I like. Or I could be out in the street and I see, like I do fashion design. So I have a clothing brand that I launched last year. So I could be in the supermarket and just walking down an aisle, and I'll be sparked by something I see. Like, wow, I really love that design, or I love that color scheme, or I love that, that image. I mean, maybe I should put that on a jacket or a shirt or something like that. So my interest is things that really interest me. So I get some sense of enjoyment out of doing work. You know, a lot of people don't. Um, I think it was Big Sean. He has a song where he says, I live the life I deserve. F of AK, I feel better at work. And that's basically how I live my life. I know work takes a lot of time. I know being an entrepreneur requires 10, 12, 18, 20 hours invested time in something. So if you don't like something and you're putting that much time, then yeah, you're going to drive yourself crazy. You're going to need vacations every 2 weeks. So
That's true. And there's that really famous quote as well that says, if you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life.
exactly.
Yeah, figuring out how to monetize what you love does help keep that lifestyle satisfaction. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. And then, I mean, obviously there's the part of uh, dating and raising a family. I don't have either of those going on right now. So I assume that when that does happen, I will need to try to figure out some way to make it work. I mean, ideally, maybe I'm with someone who has the same interests that I do, and or what we are individually interested in. Like they come together and they complement one another's interests, careers, or goals. So, you know, maybe I'll have another answer when I'm, a family man.
Yeah, different phases of life have different needs that need to be met for sure. I absolutely agree. It's a really good point. What works in one season doesn't always work in the next. So
That's
yeah,
correct.
it's very true. So what do you feel is the biggest factor in your successes?
Um, the biggest factor in my successes. Well, first of all, that's an assumption that I've had successes. Thank you.
I mean, I have seen you have successes, so you keep being a little hard on yourself.
Well, so I think my biggest, or the biggest factors in my successes has been I don't stop. Like I have this ability to focus on something, like my hat says, focus, and I don't give up. I don't let it go. So once I lock something into my mind, I just keep going. I don't allow things to deter me if I can visualize something, if I can see it. I do have failures, of course. I've had several failures, but I also know a saying where they said failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is a part of success. So that's real to me. So I have to keep going. That's one of the things that have contributed to my success. And then also realizing and understanding that everybody is going to have their time. You know, one of the things that entrepreneurs deal with, and probably not just entrepreneurs, but a lot of people in general who are building or working towards something, is we get caught up in when is it going to happen, you know? And if there's no blueprint book to tell us, oh, this is going to take exactly 4 months for you to go from just learning something to success, then the measure can be different for anybody. One person can, you know, have a song and have an overnight hit on the radio. Another person could be singing for 10 years of their life before their song gets into the top 10. So when we have these issues, or when we have these discrepancies, or when we have these differences of models for success, it can be difficult for an entrepreneur. So one of the things that I use to keep me focused, or which I also believe contributes to my success, is that I believed in the 10,000 hour rule, which is, you know, until you have devoted and put in 10,000 hours into something, you're not considered, you know, an expert. And, you know, I just expounded or expanded what that meant from the original person who created that. Is, okay, after 10,000 hours, I am an expert. And once I'm an expert, then I can easily market my skill set or my ability or what I do. So I sat back one day and I really looked at, do I have 10,000 hours in video production? And once I realized that I didn't, I did the calculations, because there's online calculators, the 10,000 hour calculator. You can Google that and find it online. And I put in how many hours I realistically put into something daily. And then it told me, well, it's going to take you about 5 years, 6 years, 7 years to reach your 10,000 hour goal. So I didn't have expectations of I need to be here just because somebody else is there. I don't know what their process was. So that kept me focused. And that, I believe that also contributed to my success, because I knew, well, hey, Mazi, you've got 2-3 more years left before you get to 10,000 hours. So until you get to 10,000 hours, don't be concerned about what anybody else does. You know, it's like college. You go in, if you're going in for your 4-year degree, you don't expect your degree in that first year. You know, down the line, that's when you're going to get it. So that's how I looked at it. And that kept like blinders on me to kind of just stay focused, or as they say, stay in my lane. But once I bumped up on that 10,000 hours, yeah, things were different then, you know?
Yeah, I think what really you're talking about in terms of the 10,000 hours, and then at the beginning, you're saying you just keep trying, not quitting, is that I believe is the biggest factor for success. You know, it's not about someone's GPA or where they are even in comparison to someone else. It's that grit, that ability to persevere is usually what catapults someone eventually over into whatever that success looks like to them. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So, Mazi, now that we've talked about your successes, let's talk about what the next level of success looks like to you. Once you reach those 10,000 hours, of course.
Oh, I've surpassed my 10,000
Oh,
hours.
okay. So,
At least in video production, I've definitely reached my 10,000 hours. And out of all of the things I do, that's where I've had the most success. That's where I've had, billboards in Times Square. That's when I've had, my projects featured on. I just had a video run on BET yesterday. So, MTV, that's, my work has been on, major television shows and stuff. So, but that is in the video production space. And that space, I've been doing it for 10 years. So I have my time in there. Now, in the newer things like fashion, I'm new to that. I don't have 10,000 hours in that yet. And I'm hoping I could speed up that process right there. But I know it takes a lot of time. So it takes long days, doing that. But the next level of success for me, or what does that look like, is I guess being able to create something that I know is going to last, even if I'm not around anymore. Something that's going to be able to sustain itself, self-sustaining. And that could be anything. It could be creating a movie production company. My company now does video production, and most of it has been music videos, but I would definitely like to get more into television, more into film, more into documentaries. So there's that. And fashion, I would love to be really, really established with my brand, which is called Black Boulevard. I would love to be able to establish that company in such a way that I could, sell it to an investor or sell a part of it for several millions of dollars and just relax, start working on that family that I was talking about earlier.
right. That passive income that builds generational wealth. Yeah.
That's right, exactly. Generational wealth.
Yes. Very important. So, in your opinion, what do you feel the secret sauce is that many entrepreneurs miss?
The secret sauce that many entrepreneurs miss, I think sometimes being an entrepreneur, we are dreamers.
Mm.
We our head will be in the cloud. We'll come up with an idea and we just think it's the greatest thing in the world. We might show it to our moms, our pops. So, we show it to some people close to us. And a lot of us have cheerleaders. So, they just cheer us on, which is great. Sometimes we need that. But a lot of times in business, we need an unbiased opinion with stuff.
Mm.
So I think the secret sauce is, or that a lot of entrepreneurs don't have, is that ability to look at things objectively, that ability to step outside of what your vision is or what your idea is or what your hope and what your dream is and say, okay, is this, realistic? And, I hate to say realistic sometimes because it's been connected to, bad, or it's gotten a bad connotation because a lot of times when people say, is that realistic? They tend to be trying to shoot down whatever you're talking about. And I don't mean it in that sense. What I mean is look at things if you can, because sometimes it's hard. It's hard. Like this is one of my designs, Focused, right? Yeah. This is from my company, Black Boulevard. Sometimes it is hard to look at your own creation objectively, right? And sometimes you really need that friend who almost never supports anything. I have a couple of relatives that you can make the best cake in the world and they'll be like, it needs a little more icing. It's like no matter what you do, they just have to say, well, it could have been better. So if you have one of those friends in your life or one of those family members, then you can, run your ideas by them. But I think you should take a consensus. So I think a lot of entrepreneurs, sometimes we get into this mode, we don't care what anybody says, and we just go. And we didn't actually take time to poke holes in our plan to see if there's anything that needs to be fixed. So.
Yeah, that feedback that we don't really want, but the truth hurts. I mean, sometimes you have to go back to the drawing board sometimes. Yeah, it's not always a fun conversation, but I agree. It's needed to keep ourselves, in check.
Yes. We really do need that. I definitely try to speak to people and get objective opinions, or I try to speak to people I know who are in that business that I'm thinking about getting into, or that I'm in. Like, I have a mentor who guides me with the clothing business because I'm brand new to it. So I'll run ideas by him. He's been in the game for about 20 plus years. So whenever I come up with a new idea, a new concept, a new colorway, I'll run it by him and say, hey, what do you think about this? And it doesn't necessarily mean that I just have to do everything he says, but I have to take outside opinions other than my own, right? So because you could get caught up in a vacuum, and your own wants, desires, likes, dislikes can cause a problem for your company. Sure, I might not like cauliflower, but I'm sure there's millions of people who love cauliflower, So you got to get them outside opinions.
Yes, that's very true. So tell the world, Mazi, how can they find you? How can they connect with you so that they can either book you for a video or photo session, or to purchase your apparel or any of your soon coming innovations?
Right. I try to be pretty consistent, because another one of my businesses is branding and marketing. Actually working on a book that details the basics of branding and marketing. So I keep a lot of my stuff the same, and it's all directed by MAZIO.com, directed by MAZIO on Twitter, directed by MAZIO on Instagram, and that's basically my handle on directed by MAZIO at Gmail. Everything is directed by MAZIO. PlayStation, if I get an Xbox, it'll be on there. So AOL, if people were still using AOL, Black Planet and Friendster and all that, directed by Mazi O. I keep it pretty consistent. So.
Wow, you are a man of consistency. That's awesome. Definitely easy to find him, people. So awesome. Thank you so much for taking some time out to chat with us and give us some wisdom. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So it's exciting. So this is our November featured business of the month. All right. Thank you.
Bye.